Imagine holding in your hand a coin that represents not only the daily life of Australians in the year 2015, but also a deep story tied to national identity, economic circulation, commemorative design, and the broader journey of Australian currency. This is not just a piece of change, it is a piece of history, and the 2015 Australian $1 coin is one of the finest examples of how a modern nation weaves culture, tradition, and national pride into the smallest yet most tangible objects of everyday life. When we look at the 2015 $1 coin, we must first remind ourselves that the $1 denomination was only introduced in 1984, replacing the $1 note, and ever since its introduction, the coin has been a canvas for both the standard kangaroo design and special commemorative issues by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra in 2015. The $1 coin carried forward that tradition, and the year itself was marked by both circulating and collectible strikes, making it a particularly interesting subject for numismatists and coin enthusiasts across the world. To truly understand the 2015 Australian $1 coin, we need to start with its specifications. It was struck in aluminium bronze, a composition that had been consistent for the denomination since 1984, consisting of 92% copper, 6% aluminium, and 2% nickel. Giving the coin its distinctive golden color, it measured 25 millimeters in diameter and weighed 9 grams with a milled edge. Its obverse bore the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, which had been in use since 1999 and would remain until 2018, when it was replaced by the effigy by Jodie Clark. The Broadley portrait presents the Queen facing right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a dignified image that had become well known across Commonwealth coinage during this era. On the reverse, the $1 coin had two principal types. For 2015, the first was the standard issue featuring the iconic mob of 5 kangaroos designed by Stuart Devlin, the master designer whose original concept had defined the $1 coin. Since its inception, Devlin was Australia's first official goldsmith, and his work has been celebrated for its artistry. The kangaroo design symbolizes the Australian landscape and national character, while being simple enough to allow efficient mass production for circulation. Millions of these standard kangaroo dollar coins were struck in 2015 and released into everyday use, making them among the most commonly encountered of all Australian coinage. However, 2015 also saw the release of special commemorative issues that have captured collector attention. Chief among them was the circulating commemorative $1 coin issued to mark the centenary of the Anzac landings at Gallipoli in 1915. A defining moment in Australian and New Zealand history, the Royal Australian Mint produced a $1 coin bearing the legend "Lest We Forget," along with a design showing a symbolic motif of poppies and a central inscription. This coin was part of a broader program of Anzac centenary commemorations that extended from 2014 to 2018, but the 2015 release stood out for the emotional weight carried by the 100th anniversary of the Gallipoli campaign. Millions were struck for circulation, and they entered daily use, meaning that ordinary Australians could encounter a poignant piece of history in their change. Additionally, 2015 was the year that saw the release of collector coins struck in higher quality, uncirculated, and proof finishes. The Mint produced sets for collectors that included the $1 coin and also a number of themed issues in the popular Mob of Ruse design, as well as privy-marked and colored coins. Some of these included limited editions that have since gained significant value on the secondary market due to their scarcity and their connection to the historically important Anzac commemorations. From an economic standpoint, the 2015 $1 coin played the same functional role as all dollar coins in circulation. It served as a replacement for notes in smaller denominations, helped facilitate transactions across the country, and acted as a durable, long-lasting unit of currency in a period when Australia was continuing to experience the transition to digital payments. Yet coins remained an essential part of daily life. The average lifespan of an aluminium bronze dollar coin is estimated at around 30 years, so the coins struck in 2015 are expected to remain in circulation well into the 2040s, carrying with them the traces of countless hands transactions and stories. From a numismatic perspective, the 2015 $1 coin presents a fascinating case study. Collectors analyzed these coins for variations, mint marks, and errors. While most were struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, some were produced in limited sets that featured unique finishes, misstrikes, or die variations that are sought after by specialists, error coins with off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or double strikes from 2015 can fetch far above face value, making them treasures in the eyes of those who seek the rare among the ordinary. Culturally, the coin also represents a moment in the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, as the monarch was still the head of state, and her effigy remained a central feature of all Australian coins. The fact that these coins were minted during her later reign makes them part of a continuum that would eventually shift with the transition to new effigies and ultimately to the image of King Charles III. In years after her passing, this means that the 2015 $1 coin is now looked back upon as part of the closing decades of a long and stable numismatic era. For 2 hours, we could speak at length about the design process, the role of the Royal Australian Mint and its history since opening. In 1965, the intricate balance between aesthetics, security features, and production efficiency, the cultural meaning of the kangaroo in Australian identity, and the powerful symbolism of the Anzac commemorative coin, which allowed an entire nation to carry remembrance in its pocket. Every detail, from the metal composition to the number of strikes, the role of mint officials, the public response to the coin release, and the way these coins now trade in numismatic circles, forms part of a wide and deeply layered story. So when you hold a 2015 Australian $1 coin in your hand, you are not just holding 9 grams of aluminium bronze. You are holding the weight of Australian history, the reflection of a nation's pride, the endurance of its symbols, and the silent witness of its economy, culture, and collective memory. And that is why the 2015 $1 coin remains one of the most fascinating issues for collectors, historians, and everyday Australians alike. Imagine holding in your hand a simple $1 coin struck in the year 2005 in Australia. At first glance, it looks like any other circulating coin with its gold-toned surface and familiar kangaroo design. But if we slow down and look deeper, this coin tells us a much larger story about the history of the Australian economy, the cultural identity of a nation, the evolution of minting technology, and the fascinating world of numismatics. The 2005 Australian $1 coin is more than a medium of exchange. It is a snapshot of its time, a reflection of design tradition, and a subtle record of the minting practices of the Royal Australian Mint during the early years of the 21st century. The story begins with the origin of the $1 denomination itself, which was first introduced in 1984, replacing the $1 note. The decision to move from paper currency to coinage was influenced by durability, cost efficiency, and the practical need for a hardier form of circulating money. The coin's iconic design of 5 bounding kangaroos created by Stuart Devlin became one of the most recognizable Australian coin images in the world. By the time 2005 arrived, this design had been circulating for over 2 decades and had become ingrained in the daily lives of millions of Australians. Now, when we narrow our focus to the year 2005, the broader context becomes important. Economically, Australia was experiencing growth fueled by resource exports and rising global demand for commodities. The circulation coinage, struck that year, needed to keep up with the demands of commerce, and the Royal Australian Mint continued producing the kangaroo dollar as a workhorse of the economy. However, within this ordinary production lies detail that excites collectors. The 2005 coins carry the Ian Rank Broadley effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, introduced in 1999. This portrait showed the Queen with a more mature and realistic appearance compared to previous effigies and, For numismatists, each effigy marks a significant phase in the timeline of modern Australian currency. The 2005 coin, therefore, stands firmly in the era of the rank broadly portrait, which remained on Australian coinage until 2018 mintage figures play a critical role in determining rarity and value. The Royal Australian Mint struck millions of standard circulation $1 coins in 2005, but the fascination deepens when we account for collector releases, special sets and proof issues that were produced alongside the regular strikes. Collectors pay close attention to these variations. Proof sets contain coins struck with polished dies and mirrored fields, creating a dramatic contrast that highlights every detail of the design. These sets were not intended for circulation, but rather to showcase the mint's artistry and appeal to hobbyists across the globe. The 2005 proof $1 coins have become particularly desirable because they represent both craftsmanship and a moment in time. In addition to the standard kangaroo dollar of 2005, another dimension is added by commemorative issues. During this decade, the Royal Australian Mint was active in creating circulating commemoratives to mark historical events anniversaries and national achievements. While the main kangaroo design continued for the majority of production, special collector coins often bore unique motifs, and the 2005 period fit into a larger pattern of Australian coin design innovation. Some coins bore themes that celebrated milestones in Australian history, science, and culture, expanding the coinage landscape beyond its traditional imagery. Although the standard 2005 kangaroo dollar itself was not a commemorative, the fact that it was produced, alongside this wave of creativity, ties it to an era of expanding numismatic diversity. From a technical perspective, the 2005 $1 coin was struck on planchets made of aluminum bronze, a durable alloy that gave the coin its distinctive golden hue. The coin specifications remained consistent with its introduction in 1984, with a diameter of 25 millimeters, a weight of 9 grams, and a thickness of about 2.8 millimeters. These consistent specifications allowed for reliability in commerce, but also gave collectors measurable benchmarks to detect varieties, errors, or anomalies in the minting process. Collectors often search for examples with die cracks off center strikes, weak strikes, or other striking errors, and 2005 is no exception. Some error coins from this year have surfaced commanding premiums due to their uniqueness. Another aspect of interest is circulation wear and the survival of high-grade examples. Since most 2005 dollars were heavily used in commerce, finding coins in uncirculated or mint state condition can be challenging for collectors. Many of the coins struck that year show bag marks, rim nicks, or surface abrasions from the minting and distribution process, and coins with clean, lustrous surfaces free from wear are prized in the marketplace. Numismatic grading services evaluate these coins carefully using established standards and assign grades that can greatly influence value. The cultural significance of the kangaroo dollar must also be emphasized. By 2005, the design had already become an international ambassador for Australia, appearing in travel guides, advertising, and popular media. The kangaroo as a symbol carried global recognition, and the coin reinforced national pride. The combination of the animal design with the effigy of the reigning monarch created a unique balance between Australia's national identity and its constitutional ties to the Commonwealth. Collectors across the world often view the kangaroo dollar as a key representation of modern Australia, and the 2005 issue continues that tradition. In the broader numismatic market, the 2005 $1 coin remains a staple in collections focused on complete runs of Australian dollar coinage. Collectors pursuing year sets value the coin as an essential piece, and its availability in both circulation and collector forms ensures a wide range of accessibility from beginner collectors to advanced specialists. Auction records show that while circulated examples hold nominal value, high-grade mint state or proof examples command stronger interest, and limited edition sets that include the 2005 dollar continue to trade actively among enthusiasts. The story of the 2005 Australian $1 coin also illustrates how even seemingly ordinary circulation issues can hold layers of meaning. Historical context, economic background, mintage practices, design evolution, and cultural resonance all converge in this small golden piece. When we hold such a coin, we connect with the people who designed it, the workers who struck it, the citizens who used it in their daily lives, and the collectors who preserve it for the future. What appears to be just another coin in the pocket is in reality a capsule of history. As we reflect on the 2005 Australian $1 coin, it becomes clear that its significance stretches far beyond its face value. It embodies decades of tradition, evolving artistry, and enduring symbolism, and it continues to fascinate those who take the time to look closer. In the world of coins, every year tells a story, and the year 2005 is no exception. The kangaroo dollar of that year remains both a workhorse of commerce and a gem of numismatic study, a coin that will continue to spark curiosity, discussion, and appreciation for generations to come. Imagine holding in your hand a simple piece of metal that not only represents the value of one Australian dollar, but also carries within its design and its minting the weight of an entire nation's identity, heritage, and evolving story. The Australian $1 coin minted in 2011 is not just currency. It is an artifact, a reflection of the nation's art economy and cultural expression, and if we peel back the layers of its story, we uncover a fascinating journey that stretches from its origins. In 1984, when the $1 coin first replaced the $1 banknote, all the way to the unique minting details that set the 2011 issues apart from other years. To understand the 2011 $1 coin, we need to first step back to the foundation of the Australian $1 coin itself. The decision to replace the paper $1 banknote with a coin was made because coins last significantly longer in circulation than notes, and in 1984, the first $1 coin was designed by Stuart Devlin, the goldsmith and jeweler who had already been responsible for many of Australia's most iconic coin designs. His reverse design, featuring a mob of kangaroos, quickly became one of the most recognized symbols on modern Australian coinage. While the obverse featured the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, by the time we arrive in 2011, the coin had been circulating for 27 years and had already seen multiple portrait updates of the Queen, as well as a wide variety of commemorative issues produced by the Royal Australian Mint. So the 2011 series sits at an interesting crossroads. It was a year of both regular circulation coins and special releases that have caught the attention of collectors and historians alike. The standard 2011 $1 coin carried the Ian Rank Broadley effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, on the obverse a portrait first introduced in 1999 and used until 2018. This design shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, with fine, realistic detail that marked a departure from earlier stylized portraits. The reverse of the standard 2011 coin retained Stuart Devlin's classic mob of kangaroos, a group of 5 kangaroos shown in dynamic movement with textured fields and subtle relief work. This design, though unchanged from earlier years, maintained its symbolic power, representing the unique wildlife of Australia and the national identity tied so closely to the kangaroo. However, the story of the 2011 $1 coin is far richer than just the standard circulation issue, because the Royal Australian Mint also produced a series of special coins that year that make 2011 a notable entry in the timeline of Australian numismatics. In 2011, one of the key releases was the commemorative $1 coin celebrating the International Year of Volunteers. This coin carried a reverse design. Unlike the regular mob of roos, it showed 3 stylized human figures encircling a globe, a visual representation of community and global service, emphasizing Australia's recognition of volunteerism as a cornerstone of civic life. This coin was widely distributed in collector sets and is remembered as one of the socially conscious releases of that year. Another significant 2011 issue was the Mint Mark series produced as part of the Royal Australian Mint's ongoing tradition of providing collector pieces with distinctive mint marks. In 2011, these coins often bore additional symbols struck onto the design, such as a C for Canberra, which signified their release at special events and exhibitions. These mint mark coins are a reminder that the Australian Mint does not just create money, but also connects directly with the public through numismatic culture and hobbyist communities. From a technical standpoint, the 2011 $1 coin was struck in aluminum bronze, the same composition used since the coin's introduction, consisting of 92% copper, 6% aluminum, and 2% nickel. This gives the coin its distinctive golden color and ensures durability in circulation. The coin weighed 9 grams, measured 25 millimeters in diameter, and had a reeded edge specifications that had remained consistent since 1984, ensuring compatibility. With vending machines and handling systems, collectors pay close attention to the mintages of each year, and in 2011, the standard $1 coin was produced in large numbers for circulation. Though exact mintages differ depending on whether one looks at circulation issues, mint set issues, or commemoratives, this year was not a low mintage year for the regular mob of ruse coin, meaning that circulated examples are common. However, the commemorative and mint mark pieces from 2011 are more limited and therefore more desirable among collectors, especially in uncirculated or proof condition. The Royal Australian Mint also issued proof sets and uncirculated sets in 2011, which included the $1 coin as a centerpiece for collectors. These sets showcase the coin with a superior finish, either highly polished mirror-like fields in proof versions or sharp satin strikes in uncirculated versions, which provided a stark contrast to the worn appearance of coins that entered circulation and endured the roughness of everyday handling. Historically, the 2011 $1 coin stands within a decade of rich diversity. For Australian dollar coins, the 2000s and early 2010s saw multiple commemorative themes, including Centenary of Federation, military history, indigenous heritage, flora and fauna, and international observances. 2011 contributed to this era with its recognition of volunteerism and its ongoing use of mint mark releases, showing that even within a year of regular production, there was space for creativity and national storytelling through coinage. When we look deeper, the 2011 $1 coin also reflects the changing role of physical money in society. By 2011, digital transactions and card payments were becoming more common, yet the coin remained a vital everyday object bridging tradition with modern economic habits. For many Australians, the 2011 coin was just a convenient piece of change, but for historians, it is evidence of how the Royal Australian Mint balanced practicality with cultural expression. The obverse portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the 2011 coin reminds us of the longevity of her reign and her presence on Australian coinage for decades, since decimalisation in 1966. Every $1 coin from 1984 to 2022 bore her image, and in 2011, the Broadley effigy was at its mature midpoint, showing the Queen in late middle age still reigning over the Commonwealth nations. Her likeness on coins serves as a historical marker of her life and reign, so that the 2011 coin is not just an Australian artifact, but also part of the broader story of the Commonwealth. If we extend our study of the 2011 $1 coin into its collector market, we find that circulated examples are abundant and generally worth only face value. However, uncirculated and proof coins, particularly those from limited sets or with special mint marks, can command premiums depending on condition and demand. Collectors value coins that are free from marks with sharp strikes and original luster. The International Year of Volunteers coin, for instance, has become a recognizable piece within themed collections, focusing on Australian commemoratives. Thus, the 2011 Australian $1 coin is not just a small round of metal. It is a chapter in the evolving story of Australian money. It links back to the original vision of Stuart Devlin in 1984. while also demonstrating how the Royal Australian Mint used coinage to engage with themes of service, community, and national pride. In 2011, it represents a continuity of tradition with the Mob of Rus, alongside a willingness to innovate with new designs and mint mark issues. Its technical consistency ensures durability and usability, but its historical and cultural layers provide endless depth for collectors and historians who look beyond the surface. If you are holding a 2011 $1 coin, you are holding more than change. You are holding a fragment of national memory, a token of artistry and craftsmanship, a vessel of identity that has passed through countless hands since its minting and continues to circulate as both money and history. And this is why, in exploring its story, we find enough richness to fill not just a few minutes, but hours of exploration. Because every aspect, from its design, origins, its minting details, its commemoratives, its role in the economy, and its collector significance, builds a tapestry of meaning.